call this game Tab, because saying the words "they are billions" all the time is tiring. Maybe billions is a better nickname? Let me know. In case you want a visual distraction, here in the background I've got a final wave from one of my other videos. So this Tab game that you and I have been enjoying for a year, this is just the quick and dirty sandbox mode that we've been playing. No campaign, no mission, no objective other than survival, and luckily a bunch of achievements. To me, there's a big difference between a game and a toy. With a toy, you have to make up your own objective. Toys can be fun, but their play is unstructured. Unless you find something that you want to do with it, play with a toy can become boring. What's the point, you think? It can be a lot of fun for a while, but when you run out of things to do, it gets old. A sandbox game is like that toy. There's no objective other than winning. And then after a while, maybe you care about the difficulty level you can beat, and then you try to beat the highest difficulty level without pausing, and then maybe you try to extend your winning streak at that level as long as possible. But all of these are player-invented objectives. Yet most computer products are games. There's missions and objectives built into them. There's a structure to it that eases you into the game mechanics. The sandbox mode that we've all been obsessing over, you and me both, means that we're both big fans of the game mechanics. Normal humans stop playing after they finish that campaign or reach a tough point. Die-hard gamers go on to play in the sandbox mode, playing the same kind of mission over and over, chasing understanding and better performance and better play. What I'm saying is that the gameplay that we've been enjoying isn't what most people go for. The market shows most gamers want structure. They want the game to tell them what to do. There's another big difference between Tab and other games like it, and that is that Tab isn't symmetric. In most RTS games, the two teams are well balanced. Orcs versus humans, Protoss versus Zerg, Atreides versus Harkonnen. They might not be identical, and often the goal is to make each team different, but yet balanced. Tab ain't like that at all. The infected act nothing like the human player. And that was one of the main goals of the designers, actually, to make an RTS that wasn't about symmetric, balanced warfare. And the score factor addresses an underlying point here, too. With human players, there's a huge range of skill. There's no competition between your average random StarCraft 2 owner and one of the pros. The pros know the game backwards and forwards. It'd be like pitting a Tab streamer that plays 800% all the time against someone that still hasn't finished the first map. So what will the campaign look like? From what the developers have said, it sounds a lot like every other RTS, but set in the infected world with our competent, tech-heavy humans against the mindless hordes. There'll be normal colony building missions, much like the current sandbox. Another mode the developers have mentioned is called Swarm Attack, which sounds like a game mode where instead of just surviving, you need to destroy an enemy swarm. To me, this sounds like the second map in its many villages of doom. I expect that in Swarm Attack maps, you'll have many VODs to destroy, and hopefully something even more complex than the VODs that we've seen in the sandbox. The Swarm Attack mode suggests something more grandiose. That is, the goal of the game mode is to take over territory on a large game map, something one level above normal gameplay. Say a colony is just one town in a county. To win, you've got to go from town to town through the county to control the entire area. Which brings up the third campaign mission types the devs have mentioned, Old Fortresses. One common mission type in RTS games is one where you start with fixed troops. You don't get to build any buildings, you don't recruit more troops, you're just going to take the troops that you have and kill off a bunch of bugs. I expect that these sorts of missions will unlock some of the research steps that we already see in the sandbox mode. For example, maybe stone workshops won't be available until you do an old fortress mission in a stone fortress and loot some plans from inside. Other than these mission types that the devs have mentioned, there's two other things that I'm really looking forward to in the campaign mode. One is backstory. I like reading fiction, I like rich game worlds, and the Tab world looks like it could have a great backstory. Going through missions in an RTS is normally a way of consuming that backstory. Heck, any game dispenses fictional content via missions. Some NPC says something, you learn about history. You click on a book or a piece of paper or whatever and read a bit about the history of the world. In the case of Tab, it looks like maybe the infected weren't just an awful natural disease that swept through mankind, but was originally intended as a weapon, and I'm guessing whomever designed that weapon will not be happy with the way the world turned out. Before I get to this last point, I do want to say thanks for watching this far. If you've enjoyed this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing. The other major mechanic coming in the campaign mode is the Empire and the Imperial Army. Remember the old game trailer, the one where some clunky ancient computer terminal said there were just 8 colonies remaining? That feeds right into the campaign mode where you'll be the mayor of one of those colonies, and the colonies together are known as the Empire. One thing you'll do in the game is interact with the Empire's authorities, gaining a reputation or trust, and becoming a bigger and bigger part of their plans. Or maybe just foiling their plans. Or who knows? I can't wait to find out. The campaign mode also explains and gives context to a lot of the screenshots that I've seen. Screenshots that don't look like they're set in the survival sandbox world. Maps with, I don't even know what they are. Radar installations, fuel depots. New screenshots released back in September show some more locales. A power plant or power transmission station, an underground bunker or two, an old scrapyard, and a fuel refinery. There are certain to be many more map types than the 4 that we've already seen, along with a bunch of special locations. The developers have been pretty busy with the game, so I expect to see updates coming soon. They've said that they're going to be working on the campaign for a while and putting the sandbox aside, and that makes sense since the campaign is a big, monolithic thing. You really want the entire campaign written well, and that can mean having finished the final chapter before the authors go back and check for consistency, pacing, and the rest. Look for more updates coming soon on the webpage or via the Steam page for the game. Meanwhile, I still have a lot of achievements I haven't finished, especially the new constrained achievements, like winning the map without recruiting any more troops or building any towers, etc. There's still a lot of play in this game for me, and I expect the campaign mode will keep this game active on my hard drive for another year.